So it's time now to go racing with the seniors and our second chance heat again for those who didn't quite make it in to the pre-final on merit. They've got 6 places up for grabs and quite a big field to get through once again. The way the grid lines up for this is going to be as follows. It has Josh Collins on pole position. Alongside him on that front row is going to be Casper Corjus. Row 2 then sees Ruud Bergerdink and Jesper Sjöberg, the Dutch racer and the Swede. Then on to row 3 it's going to be Lucas Bryan and Filip Wojcicki. Row 4 then sees Philip Volstead and Tom Croydon. On row 5 it's Daniel Matczek and Ida Cohen. Row 6 has Baptiste Moulon and Felix Kuicek. Row 7 is Giles Poulins and Michael Stupinski. Row 8 then is headed by Christopher Drayspring in the wars yesterday with Patrick Rundquist alongside. On to row 9 it's Amna Al-Kabasi and David Dusha. Row 10 then sees Jonathan Hoggard and Callie Astrand. And row 11 is going to be Joel de Puch and Stephanie Lavasconte, one of our female racers here for this weekend. Watch out for a few towards the back. Definitely Jonathan Hoggard, who should work his way through 2 bad heats yesterday, but he was one of our winners in seniors as well, so he has got the speed, but what can he do with these track conditions and with quite a few drivers in front of him as well. The field now being slowed down to the penultimate corner, which means we're near enough ready to go racing. Someone's in the wrong position by the looks of it, by the marshals pointing of the finger there. We've got 11 laps of action to look forward to, slightly longer for the seniors and the DD2s compared to the juniors, but who can come out on top, and more importantly who can get themselves into the rear of the grid for the pre-final. So here we go through the final corner, looking very good in formation for the seniors. It's Josh Collins to lead them away and Casper Corjus alongside. You can't really overtake until you get to that yellow line on the start line. Do we get underway for the first time? Yes we do. Down towards the first corner, Josh Collins gets a nice push from Ruud Bergerdink in towards the first turn. Hopefully no running wide this time with the slippery conditions. There are a few on the very wet curb there, which is going to be hard to get back onto the track. They just about do it. Gets very muscled in the middle of the pack there. Very, very... Oh, and there's a bit of contact as well. Someone has gone for a rotation. They get back on their way. That is 300. Jonathan Hoggard, one we said to watch out for, has already been caught up in the melee at turn number 2, but now he's back on his way, and there's also one of the carts that has pulling off on the exit of turn 2. We'll come to that in a short while, but out front, Josh Collins from pole position is the man that leads the way. Second then from the second row is Ruud Bergerdink, the Dutch racer, and then behind that in third place is going to be possibly Casper Corjus, if he's managed to hold on to the second place where he started on the grid. I can confirm for you it's in fact Lucas Bryan who's up there in third place, which is 261. So Lucas leads the next short train, followed in turn by 262, which is Philip Volstead. So all of those on that inside run from the first 4 rows are in the top 4 positions. So that means the rest have been bumped down the order. The likes of Casper Corjus, who is there in 228, and then just ahead of him has gone Philip Wojcicki, who was on row number 3 on the outside run to the first corner. So that's how they end lap number 1. Behind that in 7th place, Christopher Drayspring. 8th place then for 259, which is Felix Kuicek. And in 9th place we've got 268, which is then the cart of Amna Al-Kabasi. Great start from Amna from row number 9. So a lot of quick people working their way through. As we said, Jonathan Hoggard, caught up in the dramas at turn 1, finds himself down in 21st position, and the one we've lost from the race altogether is Giles Poulins in cart 248, which is pulled off on the exit, but now has been removed to a place of safety down there at turn number 2. But here he is on his own at the minute. Josh Collins pushing on. He's got the fight behind, which continues. 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Ruud Bergerdink under attack now from Lucas Bryan down towards the first corner. Bryan goes through, and Philip Volstead, by the looks of it, he's trying to get through as well here. I think he just about achieved it. Yes, he did. And then everybody else gangs up on the likes of Lucas Bryan through the first couple of left-handers on this track. There was a brief green flag there, but all looking good. Onto the back straight they go again. Change aplenty for these 4 or 5 carts. Ruud Bergerdink has been pushed down. Philip Volstead is trying to get his way back through. The blue cart that has come through there is going to be Wojcicki. 263 at the head of that, in fact, then 228 Casper Corjus, and then behind that is Philip Volstead, Ruud Bergerdink and Christopher Drayspring just about now with them by the looks of it. He's in the darker coloured cart, the red and black machine that comes on towards the right hander at the final corner. 214 he is in, and he in fact makes a move down towards that final corner to get past now the cart of Philip Volstead by the looks of it. So through he goes. Up the order, in fact, he now goes ahead of Ruud Bergerdink down towards the first corner. A fight for the lead between Josh Collins and Lucas Bryan now. So these two, again, are vying for the best position within this race. Again, more importantly, They need to find themselves within inside the top 6 places, which they are currently doing, so good for them. There goes the fight through the right-hander at turn 4, which now has Christopher Drayspring at the head of it. Rouge Bergerdink is behind, then Philip Volstead is there as well. Now what progress is Jonathan Hoggard making? None at all at the minute, 21st still for him, and a big 4 seconds back from the cart ahead, which is Daniel Metchek by the looks of it. So he's got work to do. In fact, yeah, Metchek is 4 seconds up the road, so it's not going to be an easy day for Jonathan Hoggard. May not be an even point scoring weekend for him, which would be a real shame after picking up one of the victories in yesterday's heats. Through the leaders go for now the 4th time of asking, and a move from Lucas Bryan down towards the first corner. Again, he got that done before they hit the apex of turn 1. So Lucas Bryan works his way through in that PKS cart. Josh Collins now down into 2nd place. This is a fight for 5th place, which is now headed by Rouge Bergerdink. He's gone ahead of Christopher Drayspring, so those two change around. You can see the pure white helmet, Stig-like, of Christopher Drayspring, the German, who gives a little push into turn 5 on the back of Ruud. And then behind those we've still got Philip Volstead, and also in the mix there as well, watch out for 259, Felix Kuciak, who could be a real surprise within this race. And then behind them we've got Joel DePuch, and Ida Cohen steps up to seniors for this year from the junior category of 2015. So that's what's happening further down. Here are our leaders in towards the final corner. Still Lucas Bryan ahead of Josh Collins, and is that the sunshine we see? I think it is on track, which is probably one of the first times we've seen that all weekend. So it's finally coming to our attention. The track is drying, by the way. No more rain has fallen just after the warm-up session this morning, so the carts will be getting a lot quicker out there on track. Quickest time we've seen is down into the 56s. That has come from Lucas Bryan last time through, 56.985. So he's pushing on very nicely. There is the fight for now 5th place, which again has changed. Christopher Drayspring back ahead of Ruud Bergerdink. And then behind there's been a change as well, because Kuciak has come through on Philip Volstead and has already started to pull away. So he's up in his game and now starting to catch these two ahead of him. Christopher Drayspring under immense pressure to hold on to this 5th place. But both of them need to hold on to their positions, because they need to be wary of Kuciak coming from behind, because he's going to try and get himself onto the grid for the pre-final. We're coming up on half-race distance as they turn their way on towards the start-finish line. Still Lucas Bryan that leads by just a couple of tenths of a second as they go through for the 6th time of asking. 5 laps now to go. Yellow flag at turn 2 because we have lost another of our carts on the left-hander of the circuit. So that cart is out the way. Everyone now can race fully as they head on towards turn 3. And then into the hairpin at turn 4. Does a move come from Ruud Bergerdink? No, not at the minute. He does on the exit though. He pulls alongside Christopher Drayspring. It's a drag race down towards the right-hander at turn number 5. And Ruud Bergerdink goes through on this occasion. Watch out, Christopher, because behind you now is going to be Kuciak by the looks of it. So Felix Kuciak has near enough got there again with the pure white helmet. So these two may possibly be teammates within this one. 214 and of course the 259 cart to watch out for. 214 of course Christopher with the VPDR team, and yep, Felix Kuciak as well with VPDR. So teammates on track in the paddock, but there's only one place left on the pre-final grid and only one of them can have it, so that's going to be an interesting fight. There is the leader Lucas Bryan on his way to the 3rd corner, still with Josh Collins glued to the back of him for now as they head down towards the hairpin. And then just behind you can see the fight for 3rd and 4th, which is pretty settled at the minute. That has got the likes of Vucevic and Kasper Korjus. And then of course the fight for 5th continues between Ruud Bergerdink. Christopher Drayspring has lost another place. Here comes down the inside line, move there and up into the place once more. That is Ruud Bergerdink, because Kuciak has dropped back. Christopher Drayspring had got his way through once more on his teammate, and then to the back of that as well, watch out for Philip Volstead in cart 262. So there's plenty of people who want the final place on the grid, but with only one up for grabs, there's 7 or 8 trying to vie for it at the minute as they work their way down to the final corner. There go our leaders on to another lap, Lucas Bryan and Josh Collins. Josh still can't find his way through for now, so he'll have to just, again, wait patiently. He doesn't need to be the winner. He just needs to be in these top 2 places, which is good enough to get him through as well. On towards the hairpin they turn. There is our next man, 5th place man, Ruud Bergerdink. Christopher Drayspring behind with the still white helmet. Those two, in fact, have just pulled away now from everybody else, so this could be good news for them. Kurczak is behind Philip Volstead, Joel de Puch and Jesper Sjoberg as well in 10th place. He's in that 2-4-3 kart, but it's looking good for these guys at the minute. Pushing on through the right-hander at turn number 6, then into the widened hairpin at turn 7, which has plenty of runoff if you wish to use, but I wouldn't really advise it after the conditions we've had so far this morning. But of course the track will be getting drier and drier as the day goes on now, especially with the sun out on track. Here again comes Lucas Bryan through for the completion of another lap. 2 to go now as they head down towards the first corner. Does Josh Collins go for a move? No, he doesn't. Still just waiting patiently to see if it does appear, but it's not happening as of yet. Third place is still the kart of Vucevic, kart 263, and then Kasper Korjus in 4th place. Haven't really mentioned them at all because there's nothing been going on between them. They've still remained in 3rd and 4th places since the start of the race. Down towards turn 5 go the leaders. Still looking as tidy as ever for those two as they work their way now through the right-hander. Can Josh Collins go for a move here? No, he doesn't. He again just waits, see what Lucas Bryan does. A little bit wide there for Lucas Bryan, but he is still in the lead. Bumps his way through turn 9, down towards the final corner at turn 10, and we're about to head on to the last lap of the race. Still pretty settled with inside the top 6. Behind the top 6 we've got 7th place, which is still Philip Volstead. Kurczak is 8th, Jesper Sjoberg is 9th, and Ida Cohen is up to 10th place, but none of those looking to get themselves inside the top 6 places. Side by side down towards the first corner, that's Christopher Dreespring who goes through on Ruud Burgerdink, but again it won't make any difference in terms of getting through, but it will slightly change your grid position on the pre-final. Watch out though, because still not out the question, to be fair, is Philip Volstead. If these two continue to battle, there could be one other guy who gets himself on the grid and one of these two that loses out. That could be the case as they head down towards turn 5. Philip Volstead goes for an outside line, tries to get the cut back then on Ruud Burgerdink, but it doesn't happen on the exit at turn 5. Will it happen down at turn 7? Not at the minute, and look out as well for Kurczak as well, who's not too far adrift. Teammate to Christopher Dreespring, who at the minute will make it through. Meantime, down towards the final corner, the win, and into the pre-final, it's going to be Josh Collins who gets the move done on the final corner. Very nicely done there from Josh, who goes across the line to take the checker flag. 2nd for Lucas Bryan, 3rd and 4th go through, but for 5th, 6th and 7th, it's going to be a little bit of a change, is there? I think they've all stayed about the same, but it was Kurczak who tried to get through on Ruud Burgerdink, but it didn't quite come good for him, so he misses out. But it's Josh Collins with the win, winning by 1/10 of a second with a great move at the final corner to get ahead of Lucas Bryan. 3rd place goes to Philip Vucevic ahead of Kasper Korjus. Christopher Dreespring was then 5th ahead of Ruud Burgerdink, who all make it into the top 6 and more importantly onto the back of the pre-final grid. The ones that miss out and will take no further part in today's proceedings are the likes of 259. Which man who again made progress through that race but couldn't get into the top 6 places. That was Felix Kurczak. We also had the likes of Philip Volstead, Ida Cohen and Jesper Sjoberg inside the top 10, Joel de Puch and Kalle Astrand inside the top 10. But what a disappointment for Jonathan Hoggard as well, who started at the back, was involved in a melee at turn 1 and again will not take any further part in today's action and finishes down in 17th place. What a disappointment for the man who got a heat win yesterday. But they are the 6 that go through to the senior pre-final.